Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am here today to bring you a brand new bundle or stamp set and dies, whatever you want to call it. Last chance is still happening and the possibility of this stuff selling out is pretty good. So if you are interested, you need to jump on it ASAP. The Queen Bee stamp set is carrying over into the annual catalog, so you don't have to worry about that. But the dies, they are on last chance, and they're only like $12 and change. Let me find out the exact amount for you. I think they're $12.60, I want to say. The Queen Bee is in the mini, and it is on page 26. Yeah, they're $12.80 for the dies. They're on page 26 if you have your, there you go. And the Queen Bee stamp set is in the next catalog, but the dies are 60% off for $12.80. So literally, you can get this bundle, which was a $50 bundle, for $35. So it's a great deal, say $15. And it is an amazingly gorgeous bundle of products. This die set is so pretty. This piece you can make a wreath with. I used it on our card here. And also the Hive embossing folder is also on last chance. And it is, I think, like $3 and something. So if you don't have it, $3.60. It's also on last chance right there, 60% off. So if you don't have that, it works fantastic with any kind of florals. There's a honeycomb in the die set that works really well with this. So check it out. And let's get started. I'm going to teach you how to make this card. Since the Queen Bee set is carrying over, I decided to use, for my base, Misty Moonlight. It's one of the colors that's a returning color. It used to be an in color, I want to say 2020 to 2022. It's beautiful, and I love it. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece. Okay. And I have taken a 4-inch by 5.25 inch piece and run it through that Hive embossing folder. How cool is this? Looks just like honeycomb. Here's the other side if you want the raised pieces. I like this indented one. So this is going to get attached here, but not yet. We're going to work on it. The inside of our card is going to get a piece of basic white cardstock, also 5.25 by 4 inches. And this one we can go ahead and attach on the inside and get that over with. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. I like to use the multi-purpose and I have started using something new. I found this really cool roller on Amazon. And if you are interested in it, I can link it for you in the description below. Just comment and tell me that you want the link for the roller. What I like about it is that this glue takes a little bit of holding on. You have to hold it for a minute to get it to set. But if you use this roller, it has that glue grab, and it also spreads the glue out on the back of your cardstock. So I love it. We're gonna add 2 little die cuts to the inside of our card. We're gonna put a little bumblebee. Let me grab the dies so I can show you which ones I'm using. So this little bumblebee, you can do the detailed and then there's a solid. So if you want to overlay and give him black behind him, you can. And then this is the small flower. There's also a larger flower. So we're gonna use these guys. I'm gonna use my take your pick tool and pop out the little pieces that are left. Put those on there. And we're gonna glue these two onto our inside part of our card. I just thought they were so cute, and I wanted to add a little bit of those dies. They're such pretty dies. When I do a delicate die like this, I just put dots of adhesive and then I drag the dots over the lines, or you can just die cut this out on an adhesive sheet. Both works. I'm going to use my tweezers to attach the bee and the flower both. Just in the corner there, and I can rub that adhesive right off. If you would like, you can brayer over the top or roll this roller. I don't know if it's really a brayer because it's small, but it is a pretty cool little tool that I found, and I love it. It popped up in my, you know how Amazon suggests things for you or whatever? So we're gonna layer onto this piece, then we're gonna attach onto the card. So I have also used the scallop contour dies. I used this middle one, there's 5, so the third one from either direction for my base that my large bee is on. And I have already stamped that bee in Night of Navy and die cut it from the dies right here, okay? Isn't it gorgeous? Such a beautiful. So I used Night of Navy, Misty, Moonlight, and Daffodil Delight with basic white cardstock. And then I also die cut this gorgeous vine piece out of, now the name just totally left my brain, Misty Moonlight. Good Lord. So we're gonna go ahead and attach, make that little piece that's gonna go here, okay? So this is the third one. And then this scallop here, I cut that out of a 1-inch piece by 5 1/4, and then that piece is gonna get attached down here onto our little hive. So I'm just gonna set that off to the side for right now. We don't need any ink, but we are gonna go ahead and attach our little vine and then our bee onto our scalloped rectangle. I love the scallop contour dies. I think they're beautiful. And so for this one, I'm going ahead and just putting a small line of multi-purpose glue on all of the leaves. So I'm just working my way kind of a line. If I get too big of a glop, I just kind of move it with the tip of the glue, but you don't need very much. This glue is really strong, which is why I love it so much. And then I'm just gonna do a very fine line. Just a tiny bit is what I'm putting on there, and then I'm just dragging it. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the center with my tweezers, and I'm gonna figure out where the center of my rectangle here is. I'm gonna hover that over the top, and then I'm gonna glue these leaves just slightly inside, kind of curving them. That's the nice thing about a thin die. Again, I'm going to use my little roller here. All right, so the bee, we're gonna attach that up off of this piece with dimensionals, and you know that I over dimensionalize, so don't be surprised by the number of dimensionals that I use. I can't help myself. I don't know, I just like that all of my pieces are nice and secure. So I do put a lot of dimensionals, and I can't help it. Just forgive me and use as many as you'd like. Oh boy. I'm something. Sometimes I wonder about myself. If you're new to my channel, you'll see that I'm removing the backs of the dimensionals with my Take Your Pick tool. I love doing that because they all stay stuck on here, and then I can throw them away into my trash can. They don't end up on my Stamp Studio floor, which I love. All right, let's hover our bee here right over the top. And I just want, I have to make sure that I can see what I'm doing. I want her back end there. And that looks good to me. What do you guys think? Pretty, right? So I'm gonna set that to the side for right now. Let's work on our strip. So I have die cut from the same dies here, this label. We're gonna use that to stamp in a minute. But we are gonna use the stamps, and I've cut a piece of Night of Navy, and it's 5 1/4, I believe, by 2 1/4. Yep, 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. And this is 2 1/8. I just wanted to verify, by 5 1/4. And these are gonna layer over the top. I'm gonna do a little bit of overlap stamping. And I did trim it just slightly bigger because I wanted to make sure that everything fit. So let's go ahead and grab my well-loved scrap from last week. And we are gonna go ahead and stamp on here. Let me pull this out so it doesn't cause a problem. We're gonna start first with our Misty Moonlight. And we're going to do this kind of words script type font with some speckles. And we're just gonna put them in different places on our card. I just want to make sure that there's plenty of it on here, and there is. Let's go ahead and clean that. Remember, this is going to be in the middle, so we're not going to see all of it. So if you need a point of reference, you just keep bringing this back and forth until you know that you have it just like you want it. All right, let's do Daffodil now. We're gonna come back to Misty in a minute, but we're gonna do a little bit of Daffodil. Let's put the bumblebee. This bumblebee image is really, really pretty. Has a little flower on it. So you can overlay the bumblebee onto, that one's not even gonna be seen. I'm gonna put one right there. And then I'm also gonna use, there's a crown. I think that's a pretty cool stamp. We're gonna add that image. And then we're gonna fill in over the top with some blue. I know that these aren't showing, but I need to fill in the gaps. All right, let's clean our crown and our bee. Now comes our flowers. We're done with yellow. The daffodil is done. Now, I'm gonna stamp off because I want the flowers to just be a little bit lighter blue. It's a fairly simple but beautiful card. I make one up here. I'm putting plenty of flowers on this piece, maybe one right here. All right, let's look and see what the bumblebee is going to cover. I think I'm going to put one right here so that it shows peeking out there from my piece. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think we need a little bit of splatter here. So when you need a little extra splatter, you can fill in, there's a splatter, a small one. So if you just need a little splatter here and there, you can add it. Let's see. Yeah, that's much better. All right, I'm very happy with that. So let's clean our stamps. Done with our stamping. All right. Let's get our scrap out of the way, and let's glue this piece onto our Night of Navy. I chose to use Night of Navy instead of black because I was using the Misty Moonlight and I didn't want it to be too intense with the Misty since it's a softer blue. So I decided Night of Navy is pretty dark, so we'll just go with that, and that's what I did. So this one I am just going to try and join the edge with this edge, and then I'm gonna have to snip one end off here because I cut the white, see, a little bit long, which is fine. Let's go ahead and trim that, and then I'm gonna use my roller. I always cut it a little longer because I'd rather have it too long than too short. All right, where's my roller? Let's give it a nice roll. All right, should be adhered. So now we're going to add our scallop. Again, it's a little bit longer. We're gonna go ahead and glue that down like this. So let's put adhesive to our scallop. Again, I'm gonna put this end on and make sure we're even. Looks good to me. And we're gonna trim this end off. Perfect. And now we're going to adhere this layer onto our beehive, leaving a little border of the hive showing from the bottom. So let's go ahead and put our wet adhesive. We'll do the scallop section first, and then we'll add it to our Night of Navy. So just stage by stage, we're adding our layers onto our card a little at a time. Make sure we're nice and straight here. Looks good to me. Get my roller out. Make sure that it bonds well onto that edge and there. And then this piece is going to be attached onto our Misty Moonlight. I really like using wet adhesive when I'm using an embossing folder because all these little nooks and crannies, the wet adhesive can get in there and really attach itself nicely to the card, and you don't have to worry about it coming undone. So let's add, this is going to be just a little bit in on all the edges. Make sure that we're good here. Happy with that. And let's roll it. Very nice. All right, so there's the front of our card so far. The last step here is we're gonna stamp our happy birthday, and I'm gonna stamp that in Misty Moonlight on Misty Moonlight. So let's start with our happy, and let's hope I can do it just as nice as I did. I hope I'm in camera. I have to make sure because I can't really tell, I guess. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna make sure it's nice and inked. And it looks pretty good. And hopefully my head's not in the camera, but I'm just gonna stamp my happy right up there. Okay, and then our birthday is a little bit more narrow, so it fits quite nicely. And I'm gonna, how I have this one to this side, I'm gonna put the birthday to this side. Happy birthday. All right. Clean our stamp. And then we're going to use dimensionals to attach that and our bee onto so let's go ahead. You can see I like to, when I print, I always save the scraps because you never know when you're going to need, and it works perfectly fine. All right, and you know I over-dimensionalize, guys, so let's pull the backs off of this. We'll put this one down first, and then we'll see how many dimensionals we need for our happy birthday. So I'm going to hover this about there, I think. What do you guys think? I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and put it down gently. All right, now the happy birthday is going to live right here. So I think I'm going to put dimensionals on the bottom. And I might need one mini on the side to support. The rest I think is going to be leaning on this piece. Let's see. Yeah, we'll put one mini up in this corner. The rest of it is going to be on that raised scallop contour die. So we'll pull these guys off, and I'll put a little bit of wet adhesive up here so that it will grab. Oh, I'm so happy with this card. It turned out so good. And I want that right about there. Maybe out a little. Happy birthday. I didn't use any bling on here. I just thought it was busy enough and it didn't need any. But I think it turned out super fantastic. What do you guys think? I'm very pleased with it, and I hope you are too. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love that you do that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comments below. And don't walk, run to get these dies. And this embossing folder stuff is selling out like crazy, and I would hate for you to miss out on this fantastic set of products. The Hive 3D embossing folder for $3, and the dies, the Queen Bee dies. Thanks for being here, guys. This is Kelly with Inky Hands, Warm Hearts, and I will see you next time. Happy stamping!